It might be Christmas, but we've still got to be on our guard because telephone scams where fraudsters pretend to be from your bank or the police happen any time of year, don't they, according to a financial watchdog.
But they're on the increase, and this morning the financial ombudsman is calling on people to warn their elderly relatives to beware. Let's find out how that can happen. Steph, you're following this morning.
A lot of people think they'd never fall for one of these, but actually they can be quite convincing when it comes to these calls. Morning, everyone. Yeah, there are some telltale signs to watch out for, though, because fraudsters normally tell people they ring that they need to move or withdraw their money urgently, and in some cases they will trick them into giving away their account and PIN code details. Now, regulators have warned that they target older people, often over 55, and 1 in every 5 people who fall victim to these phishing calls is aged over 75. Well, with me now is Martyn James, who's from the Financial Ombudsman Service. Good morning to you, Martyn.
Morning, Steph.
So they're on the rise. Why is that then?
Well, it's a sad fact that when times get hard for people and when money gets a bit tight, fraudsters get very, very inventive and they get a lot more creative in the way that they target people. We've been warning about telephone frauds for getting on for 2 years now, but there's no doubt about it, they're getting more sophisticated and more convincing. And as we were saying before, I've worked in finance for 15 years now, and I've listened to some of the transcripts of the telephone calls. They are so convincing, virtually anybody can be conned out of their money.
Yeah, because there's lots of people who probably think at home, oh, I'd never fall for one of them. But they're not just someone ringing you up saying, give us your bank details, love. It is a case of, I've had text messages where it's pretending to be from the bank saying, you need to contact us because there's been fraud on your account. And then when it's hard to know what to do, isn't it? How do you know whether it's real or not?
Well, there are a few simple rules that you can follow, and the most important one is your bank will never phone you up and ask you to transfer money from one account to another. If they suspect that there's fraud on your account, they'll phone you and tell you about it. They'll ask you to confirm a few details, but they'll never ask you to transfer that money away. And one of the reasons why this fraud is so nasty, really, and it's a really unpleasant way of conning people, is because it plays on people's trust for authority. Sometimes the fraudster will pretend to be from the bank, or from the police, or from any other organisation that you might trust. And they just grind people down until eventually they hand over their money. We really, really want to just say to people over Christmas, if you've got an elderly relative or maybe a neighbour who lives by themselves, just have a chat with them. Obviously, you don't want a Christmas downer, but it's always worthwhile talking to people and just letting them know that this con is out there.
And it's interesting as well, because you say people will ring you to confirm the details and things like that, and transfer money. What should you do? Should you hang up and ring the bank back on a number that you have yourself, or how can you make sure? How can you protect yourself?
Well, like with any form of high pressure sales or anything along those lines, there's nothing that's so urgent that you have to do it immediately. Hang up the phone and have a think about it. The telephone scam works by exploiting a catch in some telephone systems. So the fraudster basically stays on the line. You call the number on the back of your cash card, but they're still waiting there, and then they pretend to be the bank. It's really simple, but the impact can be devastating. We've seen cases where people have lost over £100,000. It's huge.
Wow, that's an incredible amount of money, isn't it?
Absolutely. So prevention is the best way to do that. Stop, think, maybe ask somebody first, and always double check. It doesn't make sense to agree to anything straight away on the telephone anyway, and it's the same as somebody's trying to flog you an investment or something else along those lines. That opportunity is not going to go if you don't do something immediately. You can walk away, have a think about it, and hopefully avoid getting conned.
Yeah, good advice, Martyn. Thank you very much.
Thank
you. I know you're going to be on a bit later on as well. If we've got any questions from anybody, you'll be able to answer them for us. Thank you very much. That'll be a bit for me for now.
Good advice, Steph. Many thanks.
6.